You might believe a nursing home will protect you, that it's the safest choice when living alone gets harder. But I'm here to tell you, you could be dangerously wrong. Behind many polished lobbies and friendly tours, something much darker can hide. Rushed care, quiet neglect, and heartbreaking loss of independence. And most people don't realize the truth until it's too late. When my good friend Robert moved his father into a highly rated nursing home, he felt relief at first. Finally, he thought, Dad will be safe. The staff smiled. The building looked spotless. The brochures promised compassionate care. But within a few months, Robert saw changes he couldn't explain. His father seemed drowsy all the time. He lost weight. His once sharp mind grew cloudy. And the worst part? No one at the facility gave real answers. What Robert uncovered shattered his trust and nearly broke him. And unfortunately, his story isn't rare. That's why today, I'm sharing the 6 ugly realities every senior and family deserves to hear before making a decision that could change everything. Because knowing these truths could protect your freedom, your dignity, and even your life. Welcome to Better Aging Advice for Elderly, your trusted space for real talk about aging strong, living smart, and protecting your future. I'm here to arm you with knowledge, because the truth matters. If you're ready to stay informed, empowered, and independent, make sure to tap subscribe. We're in this together. Truth number 1. Residents are often chemically sedated to make them easier to manage. At first, Robert thought his father was just adjusting. The nurses told him, it's normal for seniors to be sleepy at first. But weeks went by, and the man who used to love morning walks, deep conversations, and his favorite books barely stayed awake for more than an hour at a time. His father wasn't just tired. He was overmedicated. Here's an ugly truth most people don't realize. In some nursing homes, powerful sedatives are used, not to help residents, but to make them easier to manage. It's called chemical restraint. Instead of providing attentive care, facilities sometimes rely on medication to keep seniors quiet, compliant, and low maintenance. It's faster than dealing with wandering, restlessness, or repeated questions. It saves time when staff are overwhelmed, undertrained, or simply don't care enough. But the cost? It's devastating. Seniors lose their energy. Their personalities fade. They stop engaging with the world. And sometimes, they lose their very will to live. Imagine waking up every day feeling trapped inside your own body. Too sedated to think clearly, too drowsy to enjoy simple pleasures, too foggy to advocate for yourself. That's the hidden nightmare many families never see. Even worse, families are often reassured that it's normal aging, dementia progressing, or adjustment period behavior. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, daily medications stack up. Antipsychotics, anti-anxiety drugs, heavy sleep aids, given off-label, without clear medical necessity. Robert didn't find out the full truth until months later, when a different nurse pulled him aside and said quietly, "Your father's on 3 times the recommended dosage for someone his age. He doesn't need this much medication. He needs care." By then, the damage was already done. Robert's father had lost crucial months of vibrant life, months he could never get back. If you have a loved one in a facility, ask tough questions. What medications are they being given daily? Why? What non-drug interventions are being used first? Is a geriatric specialist reviewing the medications regularly? Demand clear answers. Visit often and at unexpected times. Watch for sudden changes in alertness, mood, or coordination. Those could be red flags. Because your loved one deserves real care, not just chemical control. And if you're planning for your own future, know this. Choosing smaller, better staffed facilities with strong reputations for individualized care can make a world of difference. You deserve a future where your voice, your spirit, and your dignity stay fully alive. Truth number 2. Some homes cut corners on food, serving low-nutrition meals. You'd think that in a nursing home, every meal would be carefully prepared to keep seniors strong and healthy. After all, the elderly need extra care when it comes to nutrition, more protein, more vitamins, more hydration, right? But behind many kitchen doors, it's not that simple. In reality, many nursing homes are cutting corners when it comes to food. And those cost-cutting measures are taking a heavy toll on the very people who need good nutrition the most. Robert learned this the hard way. When he first visited his father's facility, he expected to see fresh fruits, healthy salads, hearty soups, things that would fuel his father's body and mind. But what he found shocked him. The meals looked nothing like the pictures in the brochure. Lukewarm, processed meats, canned vegetables, tiny, flavorless portions, and no one ever talked about the nutritional value. What Robert didn't know at the time was that some homes spend as little as $3 to $5 per day on food per resident. That means high-quality ingredients, whole foods, fresh fruits, lean meats, are often sacrificed for frozen meals, prepackaged snacks, and powdered soups. It's cheaper, faster, and easier, but it's a disaster for seniors. In the short term, low-nutrient meals may seem harmless, but over weeks and months, they add up. Seniors start to feel drained, sluggish, and weak. Their immune systems falter, their muscles waste away, and cognitive function, it begins to deteriorate. I've seen it time and again. Residents in facilities that focus more on their bottom line than their residents' well-being become malnourished without even realizing it. For Robert's father, the low-quality food meant more than just weak bones or lack of energy. It affected his ability to recover from surgery, slowed down his healing, and worsened his overall health. The meals that were supposed to help him get stronger were only contributing to his decline. The sad truth? No one was talking about it. If you have a loved one in a nursing home, ask about the meals. How often are they prepared fresh? Are they getting a variety of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains? What's the balance of protein in each meal? Are residents able to choose meals based on their dietary needs? These are the questions you need to ask. And don't accept vague answers. You can also advocate for better meals by getting involved. Ask the staff how you can help improve nutrition, even if it's just donating fresh produce or helping raise awareness about the issue. Some homes will listen when families speak up. If you're planning ahead for your future, don't settle for a place that's cutting corners on food. Seek out homes that prioritize quality meals with plenty of variety and balance. Your body and your future self will thank you. Nourishment is more than food. It's the fuel that keeps you living well. And you deserve better than processed, nutrient-poor meals. Truth number 3. Temporary, undertrained workers handle critical care. You trust that your loved ones are in good hands when they enter a nursing home. After all, these places are supposed to be staffed with trained professionals who know how to care for the elderly, right? But what happens when corners are cut, and those caregivers aren't as qualified as you'd hope? Robert's father was assigned a new caregiver one afternoon. She introduced herself quickly, smiled, and reassured him everything would be okay. But Robert noticed something that didn't sit right. She seemed new, too new, the kind of new that made Robert uncomfortable. So he quietly asked the nurse on duty, "How long has she been here?" The answer? "Oh, just a couple of days. She's a temp." And there it was, a gut-wrenching realization. His father, who relied on the home for critical care, was being looked after by someone who barely knew him, someone who hadn't even been trained on the home's specific policies, much less his unique medical needs. This is the harsh reality for too many families. When nursing homes get desperate to fill shifts or cut costs, they hire temporary workers who often have no experience, no training in geriatric care, and no real relationship with the residents they're supposed to care for. Medication errors are common. Mistakes with dosages, timing, or even missing medications altogether. Some residents end up with bruises or scratches because of rough handling. And worst of all, dangerous shortcuts get taken because the staff just doesn't know better or they don't have the time to learn. It's a terrifying thought. Would you trust your life or the life of your loved one to someone who met you yesterday? Someone who has no real connection with you? Someone who doesn't even fully understand the rules? This situation isn't rare. In fact, it's alarmingly common in understaffed homes. Nursing homes frequently bring in temp workers or undertrained staff to fill the gaps during busy shifts. They're expected to handle some of the most critical care needs: feeding, dressing, monitoring vital signs, and giving medications, without the proper knowledge, training, or even the time to form meaningful relationships with residents. This lack of consistency means the quality of care can vary drastically from day to day. One day, a resident might get top-notch care from an experienced nurse. The next, a stranger who's still trying to learn where the supplies are kept. So, how do you protect your loved ones? Ask tough questions when choosing a nursing home. How often do they use temp workers? What kind of training do their staff members receive? How much experience do the nurses and aides have with elderly care, especially with conditions like dementia or mobility issues? The answers matter. It's the difference between a good, safe experience and a dangerous one. If you're already dealing with this situation, don't be afraid to speak up. Visit often and ask questions about who is caring for your loved one. Advocate for their well-being. No one will fight harder for your loved one than you will. And if you're planning for the future, seek out homes that prioritize experienced, consistent staff, because the person taking care of you should be more than just a temporary stranger. Truth number 4. Bed sores are a red flag of serious neglect. At first, Robert didn't think much of it when he saw a small, red mark on his father's hip. He thought it was just a minor bruise, maybe from shifting in bed. But as days went by, the mark didn't fade. It got worse, darker, deeper. Soon, it turned into a gaping wound. That's when Robert learned the heartbreaking truth. His father had developed a bed sore. If you've ever heard the term, you might think of it as just another unfortunate part of aging. But let me tell you, bed sore is a word you should never associate with nursing home care. They are not normal. They are preventable. And when they happen, it's a flashing red sign that something has gone terribly wrong. Bed sore, or pressure ulcers, develop when someone is left in one position for too long, causing constant pressure on their skin and tissues. Without relief, the skin breaks down, leading to painful sores that can become infected and put a senior's life at serious risk. In a nursing home, these types of wounds should never happen, not on the watch of trained professionals. And yet, in many facilities, bed sores are a devastatingly common problem. Why? Because it's a clear indicator of neglect. When nursing homes are understaffed, underfunded, or simply not providing the care they promise, residents can be left sitting or lying in one position for hours without being repositioned. This lack of basic care causes the skin to break down, resulting in painful sores that can take weeks, even months, to heal. What makes this even worse is that bed sores don't just happen overnight. They develop gradually. That means if you're hearing about them or seeing them, your loved one has been neglected for a long time. Robert found out just how serious his father's bed sores were when doctors warned him. This is stage 3. It's deep tissue damage. It could get infected. His father's body was in pain, and his emotional state plummeted. He had been left in bed for too long, too many times. And the worst part? The staff at the facility didn't take full responsibility for the neglect. They brushed it off, downplaying the situation as common in the elderly. But bed sores aren't common in properly cared for seniors. They're a clear sign that basic, crucial care is being neglected. Here's what you need to know if you have a loved one in a nursing home. Ask about repositioning. How often are they turning residents who are immobile? The rule of thumb is every 2 hours. Look for warning signs: red, irritated skin on areas where pressure is applied, like hips, heels, and tailbone. Speak up immediately if you notice any signs of skin breakdown or discomfort. Bed sores aren't just a cosmetic issue. They're a serious medical concern. Demand action. Ensure the facility has a plan in place to prevent and treat pressure ulcers. If you're planning for the future, remember, choose facilities that prioritize regular skin checks, quality of care, and proper staffing to prevent bedsore development. Don't ignore this warning sign. Your loved one deserves care that's more than just basic. They deserve full attention, dignity, and protection. Bed sores are never normal. They are preventable, and they are always a sign of neglect. Truth number 5. Complaints are often ignored or retaliated against. Seniors are supposed to be in a place where they feel safe, respected, and heard. But for some, speaking up about mistreatment or poor conditions can lead to the exact opposite. Instead of getting the care they deserve, they face consequences for their courage. When Robert's father first moved into the facility, he noticed that some of the residents looked uncomfortable. They'd whisper in corners or avoid eye contact when they saw the staff coming. It didn't take long for Robert to understand why. His father told him quietly, "I don't want to complain. Last time, they just made me wait longer for help." Here's the painful truth. Complaints often don't lead to solutions. They lead to retaliation. For some seniors, speaking out means waiting even longer for basic care. Meals come late. Medications are missed. Requests for help are ignored. Some residents even report feeling punished for simply asking for what they need. Delayed care becomes a quiet form of retaliation. Staff members give them cold shoulders. They ignore their requests. Sometimes, even their most basic needs, like fresh sheets or a simple bathroom break, are denied simply because they dared to ask for help. And in some cases, things get much worse. Seniors who complain sometimes experience harsher treatment, rough handling, condescending attitudes, or even more aggressive forms of neglect. The fear is real, and that fear often silences the very people who need help the most. But the reality is even worse than just silent complaints being ignored. In a broken system where the needs of vulnerable seniors are often overlooked, there's a twisted form of punishment. The people who ask for dignity are often the ones who suffer. The fear of retaliation means many seniors remain silent, too scared to speak up, even when they're being mistreated. Robert didn't know how bad things were until his father admitted, "I don't want to be a burden." His father had stopped asking for help altogether, fearing that if he did, the consequences would be worse. This is a harsh truth, but it's one that needs to be faced. Many nursing homes have a culture of silence. They don't encourage open dialogue. They don't respect the right of residents to ask for care. And when they do listen, it's often only when it's too late, or when they've been forced to take action because of outside scrutiny. What can you do if your loved one is in a facility? Speak up for them. Don't wait for your loved one to complain. Advocate for them regularly. Document everything. Keep a record of interactions, requests for care, and any issues that arise. Visit often and unexpectedly. You're the best person to notice if care is slipping. Report problems. If you see neglect or retaliation, report it to the proper authorities. Stand up for your loved one's rights. Seniors deserve to live in dignity. They deserve the ability to ask for help without fear of punishment. It's time for us to challenge the broken systems that allow this kind of mistreatment to continue. If you're planning ahead for your future, choose a facility where complaints are taken seriously and residents are treated with respect, not fear. You deserve care, attention, and a voice. And it's time to make sure that voice is heard. Truth number 6. Some nursing homes hide behind beautiful lobbies and fake reviews. When Robert was searching for the perfect nursing home for his father, he thought he had found it. The lobby was pristine, gleaming floors, fresh flowers on every table, and a receptionist who greeted him with a smile. The brochures showed happy, healthy residents engaged in activities, surrounded by caring staff. And those 5-star reviews online, they seemed to confirm it was the best place around. But as soon as his father was settled in, Robert began to notice the cracks in the illusion. The beautiful lobby? It was just for show. Behind those sparkling floors and pristine furniture, Robert's father's experience was very different. The staff, while friendly when he was around, became less attentive once the visitors were gone. Meals were late, medications were missed, and worst of all, Robert's father started to feel neglected, just another number in a system that cared more about appearances than people. This is the sad truth. Some nursing homes hide behind a beautiful facade and fake reviews to lure families in. But the real care, real compassion, real attention is happening where cameras aren't rolling, behind the scenes where most families never get to see. What Robert didn't know was that nursing homes, like any business, are in the business of attracting clients. And they know how to put on a show. The lobbies, the polished brochures, the glowing reviews, all part of the strategy to convince families that their loved ones will be cared for with dignity. But the reality can be very different. Nursing homes spend significant money on marketing, shiny brochures, staged photos, and even hiring reputation management companies to create fake online reviews. They present the best side of themselves, all while the real issues, understaffing, neglect, and poor care, are hidden behind closed doors. Robert's experience is all too common. He found out that the 5-star reviews on popular review sites weren't always based on actual experiences. In some cases, they were manipulated or even written by the facility itself. The glowing testimonials he read were often exaggerated or outright false. But Robert didn't give up. He dug deeper. He started visiting unannounced, talking to other families, and asking staff direct questions. What he discovered was eye-opening. The real experience of the residents didn't match the illusion he had been sold. So, how can you avoid falling for this trap? 1. Look beyond the lobby. The lobby is where the spotlight is focused, but the real care happens in the rooms, hallways, and staff areas. Visit during different times of day, not just during regular visiting hours. 2. Do your own research. Online reviews can be misleading. Check multiple sources, including local watchdog groups, state health department reports, and surveys from current residents and their families. 3. Talk to other families. Ask questions when you visit. What's their experience been like? Are they happy with the care their loved one is receiving? 4. Tour the facility without notice. Many nursing homes will put on a show for scheduled tours. But if you visit without warning, you'll see what it's really like. Look for signs of neglect, dirty rooms, unkempt areas, or staff who seem overwhelmed. 5. Focus on the staff. The people providing care are the heart of any nursing home. Are they engaged with the residents? Are they smiling? Do they seem compassionate or just there for a paycheck? Don't be fooled by the shiny exterior. When you're choosing a nursing home, remember, real care happens where cameras aren't rolling. Families are often sold an illusion, And it's up to you to look beyond that to find a place that truly treats its residents with the dignity and respect they deserve. Robert learned the hard way that a pretty lobby can't cover up poor care, and neither can a 5-star rating. Do your research. Always look deeper. You deserve to know the truth. We all do. It's easy to think that all nursing homes are bad, but that's simply not the case. Some places do offer genuine care and comfort, but the truth is, too many nursing homes are broken, failing to provide the basic dignity and respect that every senior deserves. If you're a senior, or if you're helping care for a loved one, you need to know there are safer paths out there. Options that can offer the care and quality of life that you deserve without the fear of neglect or mistreatment. Consider quality home care, where you can stay in the comfort of your own space and receive personalized attention. Many seniors find that small group homes offer a more intimate and compassionate environment, where the staff knows them by name and understands their unique needs. Or you might look into strict oversight programs that offer more transparency and monitoring for nursing homes, ensuring that residents aren't forgotten and that their voices are heard. But the most important thing to remember is this: you don't have to settle for less. If you or your loved one are facing poor conditions in a nursing home, demand better. You have every right to hold these facilities accountable. And if that means moving to a different home or seeking alternative care options, then do it. Too many people remain silent because they don't know they have options or they fear retaliation. But you deserve to be heard. If you see something wrong, speak up. Demand the care that your loved one is entitled to. Your voice can bring about change, not only for your family, but for others who may be going through the same thing. Have you or someone you love faced heartbreak in a nursing home? Maybe you've experienced neglect or seen firsthand what happens behind the scenes. Share your story in the comments. You could help someone else avoid the same painful situation. Your words matter. If this video opened your eyes, tap like, because raising awareness is the first step to protecting those we love. And don't forget to subscribe for more better aging advice. When we know better, we do better. Let's work together to make sure every senior gets the care and respect they deserve. We all deserve better.